This is News You Can Use.
All right, so, because every time somebody in the audience now hears about the Fed, I'm sure they don't like that. They don't like that either, right? So Fed funds, what is the Fed funds rate?
It's the interest rate at which banks lend to one another overnight.
Okay.
So banks have to have a certain balance in their financial statements at the close of each business day, and if one needs some additional funds to meet some regulatory requirements, they will borrow for another that has an excess.
So the Fed sets that rate for all.
Yes, by buying and selling in that space, they manage that within a range. So you'll hear them talking about the Fed funds target range.
And you mentioned demand destruction. I want everyone to hear this, because when the Fed is raising rates like they are today, what they're really trying to do is reduce consumer demand in every sector so that supply can effectively catch up and prices will slow down. Right?
That's right. And you're seeing that in housing in spades.
Yeah, in spades. Yeah, we are seeing in spades.
Yeah.
I think we're all going to have 10 shots of tequila.
Yeah.
All right, so do 30-year fixed rate mortgages, do they track Fed funds?
Not perfectly. They are related, but over time. You have seen in this instance interest rates and mortgages rise pretty much in parallel to where the Fed funds target has been moving. A lot of that is an expectation signaled by the Fed that says we're going to let mortgage backs run off, but more importantly, we're not buying any. So that's taken out the biggest buyer. And it's a little historical thing. Over that time period you saw that long downturn in interest rates, the primary holder of mortgages has changed 3 times, and something that is unknown is who will be the new primary holder. So it was the thrift industry, which had the qualified thrift rule, which said that a certain percentage of their assets had to be mortgages. Then when the thrift industry died, it went to the portfolios of Fannie and Freddie. Then when our portfolios were constrained, it has moved to the Fed. So as the Fed exits, it's not entirely clear who replaces the Fed and at what interest rates. So that will be something to watch over time.
So is the Fed, based on how aggressive they're being right now, because we haven't seen them be this aggressive in raising interest rates to kind of destruct, if you will, demand, are they right?
Well, there's no question that consumers, for very good reasons, hate inflation. And so something has to be done about it socially. You can see, if you saw the headlines this morning, there were riots in France over the rise of inflation. It's a very socially disruptive phenomenon. And it's because people work hard for their income, and then it's taken away from them by the rise in prices, which devalues each unit of income that they generate. It's especially hard on the poor, because the poor have very limited portfolios and limited resources, most of which is cash in real time. So they actually are hit the hardest. So if you genuinely care about the poor, then crushing inflation is a very important.
It's just painful over a short period of time, right? So we're
It
going
is.
through that moment right now.
We are.
It's very painful.